All right, for 2, it looks like we got a real doozy. So I'm just going to start at the beginning. If an and/or expression is recursively defined, the base case is a Boolean value or a symbol. So let me fold this guy. Boolean value or symbol. So something like true or false or a symbol. The recursive case is a list of 3 elements. The left operand, which is an and/or expression. So list 1, 2, 3. This is an and/or expression. This is an and/or, and this I think is a plus or a times. Okay. Now it asks me to, if an expression is an and/or expression that's not a symbol or Boolean value, what bracket expressions will give the following parts of expression? The left operand, but this is pretty silly. Left operand is first expression. The operation symbol, I'm not going to write it out. Operation is the second expression, right? Second. Or alternatively, it's just the catter, right? The car of the cutter, X. And then the right operand is cadder or X. Or third expression. Any of those will work. 2b says, write a bracket procedure reformat expression that takes an and/or expression and reformats it so that the operation symbol comes first in the list, followed by the left, and then the right operand. Okay, so that sounds like it's a basic sort of like tree reconstruction problem like we did in homework 2. What's the procedure called? It's called reformat. So define reformat expression. I think it takes exp. So again, we handle all of these recursive problems based in recursive cases. I hope you picked that up by now. The base cases here are going to be if it's a Boolean. Oh, I don't know if you have to round up this full thing. I'm not super great at bracket syntax all the time, but we're going to trust it. If I really wanted to be careful, I could say equal to pound true or pound false. I'm not going to do that. But Boolean expression, and just return expression. If it's a symbol, just return that symbol. I can combine these into one. There are lots of different ways to write this. Okay. Otherwise, I know it must be this recursive case, and I just have to rewrite it. I think the important part here is that these are also and/or expressions that have to be rewritten potentially. So I have to call this function recursively on these, not just reorder my expression. So here I'll say else. I have to make a list because I think an and/or expression says a list of these 3 things. So list, well, it would just be reformat. Oh, I guess I don't read. The first thing is going to be the operation, so I don't need to reformat that. It's just going to be second exp, then reformat first exp, and then reformat third exp. All right, let's move on to 2c. Okay, draw the tree of recursive calls. Maybe I should keep this procedure around for when I'm drawing its recursive calls. Draw a tree of recursive calls and no return values for the procedure call. Reformat. Okay, I got this mess. It's I think I have to erase this just for space, but you can remember what happened there, right? We got my handwriting's not the best today. A plus B times C plus D plus E. Then a couple more parentheses. Oh, well, let's reformat on this. There we go. Okay, so tree of recursive calls. So it'll start by saying this is not one of the base cases, and then it'll call it on this entire, it'll call it on this part and then on this part. So I'll break this up into reformat the car, which is A plus B. Yeah, and the third, which is C plus D plus E. I didn't do Cdr here, I did third. So it's not going to be still in this extra list. This will just call, notably, even though we don't need to really reformat any of the things within here, like A or B, it'll still try to. It'll call reformat A. I think it's a symbol, and reformat B. Remember how we implemented it? It does call these recursive thingies. This will call reformat on this and on this. So that's reformat C and reformat D plus E, which will call reformat D and reformat E. Okay. I think that's hopefully fairly self-explanatory. That's all of 2. Move on to 3.